First of all, how did it start, gaining the weight, and what happened after that?
Yeah, so I mean, I've always been a big guy my whole life. Like I'm the youngest of 9 kids, immigrant family. Nobody else has ever touched over 180 pounds, 5'7". Like I'm a true anomaly. I got to 500 pounds about 3 years ago. So like I'm like the size of 3 of my siblings.
Gotcha.
So I've always been a big kid, but always the most active one. I played every sport growing up, played football, and then, got a job when I was young. So I just spent all my money on food. Like the immigrant family, we don't have the food that we want. We're not eating, good cereals and stuff. So I just spent all my money. I was the guy who bought 3 pizza wraps every lunch and 2 chocolate milks in the calf at high school. So then I played football, whatever, but I always was very active.
What position in football?
I played O-line,
so
I was
guard
about
and
to
center.
say,
You gotta be an O-lineman.
Yeah, so I working out three hours a day, right, between practice and going to the gym, slamming, double Whopper Juniors on the way to practice, and then the same thing on the way home for practice. But I never felt big. Like I played basketball, I played sports where it moved well.
Yeah.
So I never felt
shockingly well.
Yeah.
Shockingly well.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah. But I never felt big because other than the fact that I bought clothes at a bigger size, or by the time I got really big, I was buying more stuff online. I never felt huge. Like I'm in a trade. I'm a tile installer. I own my own business. I got a few employees, and I'm moving faster than all my employees at 400 pounds, 380 pounds, like installing 400 or 500 square feet a day, then going to practice and all this stuff. So I never felt big. But eventually that catches up to you. Now I'm an old man, almost 32. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Almost, yeah.
You are by no means the oldest one in this room.
But I got older, whatever, and just that lifestyle just kept going, right? And I still to this day, like I've been for over a decade, I work about 80 hours a week. So so just I'm eating out of my truck three meals a day.
Sure.
It's kind of a unique situation where I like try not to sound like douchey about it, but like I was making good money, so I spent money on food. I never was like, oh, I don't want to afford buying out this time. So I was just like it was like a problem of having privilege. Like I had the money, so I was blowing money on food, ordering pizza 4 or 5 times a week because you're working, spend all your time. I'm just trying to hustle, outwork a bad diet, right? Mm-hmm. Which everybody tries to do.
Of course, yeah.
And then a couple years ago, we were working. COVID hit, and like our housing market went crazy. So like we're doing 3-4 builds, tile installer a month to like 6 or 7 because our market went up like by 400%, 300% in my city.
This episode of the podcast is brought to you by the Superhero Training app. Whether you're in the gym, at home, in the pool, or on the road, you'll find training programs built by elite coaches specifically for you. Every subscriber is automatically entered to win thousands of dollars in equipment giveaways each month and to participate in our group fitness challenges, where you can win custom hand-painted 3D printed superheroes. All of this for less than 33 cents a day. So don't wait, follow the link in this episode description below and start your fitness journey with us. And now back to the episode.
So working so much, I ended up tearing my meniscus like 3 years ago.
On the job?
Yeah, like just over, like I'm installing for 12 hours a day, 5, 6, 7, like 7 days a week, right? Yeah. Because we just didn't want to say no to the work, right? That's kind of the nature of the business when you're in the trades. But something gave, which was the gym, right? I kept working with torn up knee, right? Now I know I went to 4 physios. Canada health system's crazy, so I waited like 13 months for an MRI. So they just kind of treated it like a meniscus tear. So then I finally got with a good physio, who's a buddy who played football with, who we rehabbed my knee. But I got to 500 pounds. I stopped going to the gym. I had worked out, whatever, and I was dropping weight before that and feeling good. And then I did one of these keto diets, right? I was like, oh, let me try keto and the whole 9 yards with the pea sticks and all that stuff. I did it legit. And normally if I ate like garbage, I'd put on 10 pounds, 20 pounds in the span of 2-3 months. Like it wasn't like I didn't blow up when I ate like garbage. Yeah. It was a slow, steady climb, right? So when I went into high school, I was 185. I came out of high school, 300 pounds, was playing football. By 7, 8, 9 years later, I was 380, 390. But again, still moving, still working out, still lifting weights. And then, it kind of just all caught up with me. And I put on 160 pounds in the span of a year and a half. Like just blew up. And then I felt big. Like I never felt big before that. I was always able to move. I was able to work.
Yeah. Where was the weight with which you felt like you lost your mobility? Where you no longer felt, I'm big, but I don't feel big.
When I was like about 3-4 years ago, probably as I started getting back up to like the 400 pound mark. And then it was just like it happens so fast. Like people are like, oh, how'd you get to 500 pounds? I'm like, well, I didn't try to get there. It wasn't like like it's super easy, right? And have you had Taco Bell is unreal. I basically paid for like. I basically paid for like the Taco Bell CEO's 3 beach houses with the amount of money that I was spending weekly on Taco Bell was insane.
And it's cheap, it's easy, it's affordable, and it's good. I get it. And,
it's everywhere.
Convenient. And it's everywhere. Exactly. And when you're working, I mean, that's, again, relatable. That's why I like doing these episodes because people relate to this. People are like, yeah, dude, I work 15 hours a day. I work 20 hours a day.
Yeah.
I'm not doing anything other than working. Why wouldn't I just grab Taco Bell on the way home?
And financially, it actually kind of, at some point, it makes sense because like I could take an hour and a half and grocery shop and do all this stuff and do it, or I could work an extra hour and 2 hours in the trade that I do in the business that I own where I make good money. Right. So, but I was always the guy who like my groceries, if you look at the shopping cart, always looked ridiculously healthy. Like I never, like I've been looking, my wife was laughing. I've been looking at the same cheesecake at Costco for the last decade going, I'm going to buy it. Nah, I'm not going to buy it. Like for some reason, I'm the most strong-willed guy in the grocery store and there's groceries at home, but then every piece of produce goes bad and I'm slamming Taco Bell in the fridge full of food.
What's your go-to
which I think is
Taco
basically
Bell
American dream. I'm like a Crunchwrap combo. Well, when you were my size, it's not a meal. It's like 3 meals a la carte.
Per meal.
Yeah, exactly. So at the worst, it was like Crunchwrap combo. We have fry supremes, and I don't think you guys have those.
I know.
So it's like it's fries, sour cream, ground beef. It's like the greatest thing ever. You guys have like nachos and cheese. That's like the only thing we're really good at.
This guy. Yeah. This is like you probably know this menu back and front.
It's like a Mexican poutine.
Oh man, I mean, look at it. It's like.
It's absolutely wild.
This just makes me regress, though. It's like I see this, I see Trailer Park Boys, I see weed, I see late nights driving through. I see this food, and it sends me reeling back.
So it was that. So it was Crunchwrap combo with fry supreme. Then I'm getting like 2 beef burritos on the side.
Two
beef burritos on the side. Then I'm getting what are those Cinnabon Delights?
Cinnamon Twist or
Cinnabon Delights. I don't know if you guys have those here.
No.
Like the
You guys don't know what? Do you guys know what a Timbit is?
No.
You guys have Tim Hortons down here? No.
No.
Timbits are donut holes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
So
we know.
They have like a donut hole, but it's like a cinnamon roll with like cream cheese frosting inside. It's basically like it's the worst thing, but the greatest thing on planet Earth at the same time.
I went to Tim Hortons in Canada and I was hooked like the first day. I was like, this place is. Why don't we have this in the U.S.?
Yeah, they have them in like Michigan and stuff, like a little bit closer,
Okay.
but they're not. Even though Tim Hortons like most.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I recognize them.
Yeah.
And you're eating
good Lord.
You're getting packs of 3.
Cinnabon jizz.
Yeah,
I just think to that Louis bit. You ever seen that Louis C.K. bit about the cinnamon that he gets in the airport?
Oh, yeah, you gotta listen.
Oh, yeah.
You ever hear that one when he talks about it? He's like, give me that. He's like, no, please don't buy it. It is very old. Don't buy it. It's like, I'm eating that.
It's like, it's bad when you get one at the airport that you arrive in.
You're like, I got food in my fridge. I'm 20 minutes from my house.
Yeah.
And I'm hunched over on my luggage just eating a cinnamon. But it's convenience. Truthfully, I get where this. It's so funny how like a lot of times I think people in the fitness industry hear this and they're like, "What? Get real!"
Yeah.
I'm like, "What? You don't understand why somebody would do that? Like why Taco Bell is open? Why people still go to them? It's convenience more than anything else."
Yeah, and the big thing for me is I coined this little term like today's compromise has become tomorrow's standard. So one day I went to Burger King and I got a Whopper combo, and then I was really hungry one day, so I grabbed an extra Whopper on the side. That's the new standard meal for me from then on out. Then it was, and I always got one with pickles and one without, because no reasonable drive-thru person would think those are both for me. So like as a fat guy, I'm like, there's no shot you think they're both for me. I don't like pickles, and I would normally do that, but I'm like, at least if this person's not judging me, I'm good.
That is hilarious.
Yeah, like fat guys have hacks for everything.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So because. Again, thinking at it through the lens of like an addiction, it's the exact same thing that alcoholics will do. 100%. Like I'll get a couple different variations of this. They'll never think these are all for me. Yeah. Who would ever drink 2 different 6-packs of beer? Yeah, but they do. It's the exact same type of logic.
And that's the thing. That's why I said my grocery cart was always like healthy food. There's a bunch of people around. I'm not showing up to the cashier and they're looking at me getting pizza pops and donuts and all this stuff. I'll just go get those on my own in my truck later on and eat in the car or eat on the way home or eat job site to job site.
Yeah.
Right.
So there's obviously an element to this where you understand that this has to change. You
100%.
Understand that this isn't a good thing for you to be doing.
Yeah. And for me, because it didn't affect my life like it obviously affected my health, and there's obviously massive problems with being that heavy. But because I was still working, you know, long hours, still playing sports, still functioned like a normal person would, it didn't make me change. But then when I hurt my knee, whatever it was, put on 160 pounds, like I wasn't putting my own socks on for like 6 months.
Whoa.
Like I couldn't physically get socks on. Like I was in pain. I would have to, like, it would take me about 10 minutes to get out of bed every morning. And I'm in a trade where I literally am on the ground for a living, right? So I would have one foot up, one knee down, and that's how I would install tile all day long and just be in constant pain all the time.
Oh, and that is such a hard occupation. Anything floor related.
Yeah.
I had by no means the experience you've got, but I had a summer job, I remember, where I was installing baseboards for a guy. And I remember what that was like, just being on a hard concrete, because it's a renovated house. There's no carpet, no nothing. Yeah. You're just on the ground all day. That is so hard on your body.
Yes, hard on your body. And then it just sort of started to affect my money. It started to affect, my wife was a stay-at-home mom, right? So although I was still working, it was like I'm not as productive as I could be, and it's really starting to affect me. And luckily, my kids were young, so like at the time my daughter was 3, my other daughter was just born. So like even jumping, not even jumping because I couldn't jump, but like hobbling, I'm still faster than them. I always wanted to be faster than my kids, but when your kid is 1, you can still stay fat for a couple more years.
Sure. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But then it just like it got bad. I was 497 pounds. Couldn't.
Oh wow!
Couldn't put my own socks on, so that's me at that's me recently.
Is that 497? You on
that's
the left-hand side?
Actually that's a little bit lighter. That's like probably like 480 or something like that. I had dropped some weight already.
Okay. But still a shocking difference.
Yeah, but again, like pain is just now part of my life. I'm getting out of my truck. I'm limping for the first 5, 6, 7 steps. I can't run. I can't do anything I was doing before. Can't work out. So I'm like, I gotta. You eventually a year and a half of that, it eventually just you've just had enough. Like you just eventually something has to change. And then I just one day was like, I gotta make some changes. Hard work has never been a problem for me, right? Like I've always tried. I say this all the time. Like a lot of people think like every fat person is lazy. Like I've been working over 25, 30 hours a week since I was 9. Like I worked midnights in high school. That's why I had money to buy stuff in the calf. But I've always been terrible discipline wise, like right. So I've just always spent all my money on food, spending on everything that made me feel good in the moment, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Which was obviously terrible for me. But yeah, I found myself 490 pounds. Wife's putting my socks on. My kid thought it was funny. They're like putting my socks on for me. I'm like, this is awful. Especially as a guy, who's like, I'm the sole breadwinner of their house. I'm, played sports. I'm the one who's supposed to be, being the provider here. And like, I'm basically going to work. And these guys are like, they're 1 and 3, so they don't really understand. But they're like putting my socks on for me. Like, there's nothing that a little more demoralizing to myself for that anyway, right? Sure. So then I just basically said, okay, I'm gonna approach this totally different, because every big guy has done every diet in the world, right? Like I've tried every single possible diet in the world. And so for me, I was in constant pain. I just started basically walking, right? Like I just started walking because I couldn't run. I couldn't do anything like that. So I just started walking every day, but it was like a minute. And then I would do that a couple times a day. Luckily, because I have a job that makes me more mobile than the average 500 pounder, even with the injury in the knee, like at 500 pounds, I can still sit in a child squat for, a minute, 2, 3, 4 minutes at a time, because I had developed that over time, and you don't lose that fast.
And being a former athlete.
Yeah.
Helps.
There's some baseline there, right, of it. Right. So, so then just started walking. And then eventually I actually sought help from a physiotherapist. He's a buddy I played football with. And I've been to four physios, and they gave me the band, they put it around my leg, and they said, just do a couple exercises, like did absolutely nothing. Sent you away. And then I did one virtual session. He lives a few hours away, close to Niagara Falls. And we did one session together, and it was like complete night and day. At the same time, I fasted for about 30 days. Like,
did you really?
Just water, 30 days when I was at my, like, when I was like 440 pounds.
How much did you lose?
61 pounds in 30 days.
In 30 days?
Yeah, like the 4.5 is a
2
wild.
pounds a day?
Yeah, it was insane.
How did you feel?
Honestly, I felt like a superhero.
Good.
Like,
Don't you feel good?
Oh, you felt great.
He just
felt
did it for
great.
4 days.
4 days.
And
Yeah.
you did it for 3, right? The day before. This is the weirdest hack known to man that I don't hear it. Mark Bell talks about it a fair amount, but I don't hear a lot of people talking about it. Fasting is truly incredible. And people who are on weight loss journeys, and I mean people who are on like your kind of weight loss journeys, like I want to lose 100 pounds. I want to lose it. I feel like there is this misconception people have when they are to your size. I'm speaking to the people that are, say, 350 and up.
Yeah.
They don't understand that if they truly stop eating and drink water, you won't die. No. You'll live.
Yeah.
You've eaten all the meals that you needed. You're basically hibernating within yourself.
Yeah.
You've eaten all the meals you need for the next month, and they're already in the past.
Yeah.
Like, you just need to stop. And people are like, well, I don't want to get malnourished. It's like, do you think you're malnourished? Yeah. Do you think right now that your body has stored all this energy? Yeah. Guess what? Your body will use that energy. Your body will survive so much longer than your brain is telling you that you will.
Yeah, and a guy my size, you're lasting like 3.5 years. Like, you could, not that long, maybe, but you're lasting a long time. Like, to lose 61 pounds as a 440, like, you're the percent, like, that's not even a quarter of my body weight. So, like, I could have gone 90 days. I'm sure I could have. For me, it wasn't even a weight loss thing. I just wanted to see, like, for the last 30 years, my life has basically revolved around food, right? So I'm like, how can I, like, food is a very, like, obesity for me and, like, my situation is very much is very much subjective to the fact that I'm very privileged. Like, there's people in third world countries who don't get to choose to not eat. Who don't have food, and it's not like it was a very much a luxury to choose not to eat for 30 days. Sure. And I said, I want to know what it feels like to be actually hungry, what it feels like to right, because even, you know, you go to the gym, like, I was always a big heavy, like, weights guy, right? Like, squatted 640, like I was big, like a big strong guy. Yeah. And but the second the workout's done, sorry, a little bit of a
it's all good.
Second the workout's done, you're like, I gotta get protein within the 30-minute window, or else I'm going to go in, catabolic state. It's like, your body will not starve. Like, the body is incredible, but we think, I'm like, and we don't really know what hunger is. And then after 30 days, okay, I'm like, actually, I know what hunger feels like now. So it was a wild experience. Day 1, day 2, like day 1, day 2, day 3, the hunger is by far the worst.
That's what I was going to ask.
And then it stays the same for the rest of the 30 days. Yeah. And it was almost like, if I've done 7 days, I could do 8. If I've done 8 days, I could do 14. Like, it's just like, it got addictive to see how far I could go. And the benefits were wild. Like, if my pain on my knee was a 9 out of 10, after day 6 was like a 1. Like, what? And really, and like, I had just got with my physio, but day 6, I've only dropped like 6 pounds. So it's not like the weight is the reason why my knees are fine now. 6 pounds isn't going to do anything for your knee pain, right? Like, drastically. And I had kind of got with my physio at the same time, but again, it's been one session. It hasn't been like, not fixing my knee in one session. So that pain went away after 6 days and basically hasn't come back. Like, granted, I
know why?
Some other things at the same time.
Yeah. Do you know why? I'm asking, like, during your fast, when your pain went away and that threshold diminished, do you know why that is?
Like, the science that I've understood behind it is, your body will go after some damaged cells first, and and like, it basically repairs itself, right? It
does.
And I'm like a 2-hour a night sleeper. Like, I'm awful asleep. Like, even now I am, but I work midnights 40 hours a week, and then during the day 40 hours a week. So like, it's very normal for me for, like, I've been awake since yesterday at 1 a.m. It's just something that I haven't gotten a handle on yet. But even when I have days where I have 8 hours of sleep, I can only sleep 2, maybe 3. But I fasted day 5, day 6, I'm sleeping 8 hours.
I was about to say, how did that happen?
Feeling good. The energy level was high. The only time the energy wasn't high is, you're at the, because I was still worked out throughout it. You did? Yeah, I did. I still lifted. I was lifting, still 5 days a week. I just wasn't doing anything crazy. I'm not going to go do cardio for an hour, because I was trying to not lose weight that fast, because the faster you lose it, the more likely chance you're going to put it back on. Right? Yeah. Slow burn is really much better. And I just found that I gassed in between sets. Right?
Yeah.
Like
your workouts get abbreviated.
Yeah.
That's for me. When I did my thing, I did hot yoga like 4 times during like once a day basically. I eliminated weights
Yeah.
and did body weight movement stuff inside of a hot yoga studio. I did Bikram essentially. So
Yeah.
you can still move. You can still. The thing I found most interesting was how wired you feel.
Oh.
It feels like you're on crack.
I was like day 4.
Adderall.
No, it feels like you're on
Yeah.
Adderall. And it's the opposite of what you think is going to happen. You think, all right, I'm going to be lethargic. I'm going to be
Tired,
tired. I'm going to be hangry.
Yeah.
I'm going to be irritated with everybody. And I'm going to have no patience or focus.
Yeah.
It's the opposite.
Yeah.
You feel like you're on speed.
Yeah.
And I gave myself, I'm like, okay, I'll do, because I like, if I just did water. I'm like, I'll allow myself to drink black coffee if I need it.
Me too.
But I had 3 black coffees in the whole month because I was like, I didn't need it. I was from a guy who used to take 10 minutes to just roll out of bed. Like I'm talking, I'm going to use a cross ball behind my leg. My wife's got the elbow into my calf so that I can even function for the day. And to get up and roll out of bed day 5, like, I'm like, I don't need any caffeine. I felt fantastic. So, but honestly, it made me feel amazing.
Yeah.
I wouldn't necessarily recommend it as a normal, like people are like, oh, I'll just fast for 30 days and use a weight loss tool. It's not necessarily the best weight loss tool because you have to fight like crazy to hold that weight back off.
Yeah.
Right. Especially if you've never fixed the way that you eat and you just go back into eating, you eat okay for 2-3 days and then you go back into eating normal. You're going to blow back even more than the 61 pounds.
I agree. What I love about it, though, when it comes to fasting, as far as benefits, I love the denying of your flesh, the denying of your appetites.
Yeah.
This applies to, it can be whatever it is. And we all know what it is, that thing in our life, that thing we've got an appetite for that we probably shouldn't.
Yeah.
Fasting is, that's one area where no matter what you're into or who you are, we all want food. We all need food.
Yeah.
If you deny yourself intentionally sustenance for, let's say, a minimum of 3 days, your brain now recognizes that you can deny your flesh.
Yeah.
Your brain now recognizes, oh, okay, well, whatever it is that thing I want, because I really want food right now more than anything.
Yeah.
Whatever it was my appetites were, maybe I'm really into weed, but if I'm fasting, I want food. I want it more than anything else in the whole world, but I'm still not eating it. Wow. I didn't actually know my brain was capable of this kind of restraint. It almost resets you.
Yeah, and from the mental benefits, by far outweigh the physical ones. Like the physical ones, you drop some weight, whatever. But the mental ones, like the way I see, people ask me all the time, how do you discipline, whatever. Now my life is so much different than it was 2 years ago, and I'm like, I kind of treat it like a boxing, record. Like I get out every day. I don't work out most days. Like nobody wants to work out most days, but you get out and it's like a boxing match. If you just win, doesn't matter if you win pretty, if you dominate that fight, as long as you just take that win. If I get out and do my workout, even if it's not the greatest workout in the world, you stack so many of those wins together, and eventually you're the heavyweight champ kind of thing, right? So like you stack the fasting, then you stack it with getting out for this walk when you're not supposed to, and you realize that it's not necessarily, it'll affect it tomorrow's. If I don't get my workout in today, then it just makes it today's compromise becomes tomorrow's standards. It just makes it easier to compromise tomorrow. Where if I go, well, if I get out today, it won't just benefit today. Like a one-off shot workout, you guys know, you're athletes. Like it's not going to change the entire, trajectory of your fitness goals. But if it will set a standard that you're now going to bail. It's easier to bail tomorrow.
I got it.
It's easier to bail.
Yeah.
The more you can just stack those wins, the more it's wild, right? So the fasting is awesome. Like mentally, it was just like, everything my body wants to tell me to eat right now, except for my body is like taking time, and it's everything. Like the benefits are awesome. You heal, you got more energy. The only thing, you're just hungry. It's like one little part of your life. Everything else is doing fantastic.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you, like you said, if you just deny, and I'm a big believer in like, deny most things in life. Like if it feels good, it's probably not great.
Yeah.
Like, right. Like the more
Good rule of thumb.
like the bodies are like cars. Like the default is to break down. Like it's never your car, if you sit in a garage for a year, will never perform better when you turn it on. You have to continue to work on and maintain on all that stuff. Continue to deny the car just sitting there and doing nothing.
Mm-hmm. I love a phrase you said a little bit earlier on. Have you ever seen the American Glutton podcast?
Yeah.
Ethan,
yeah, he's
amazing. And he, you use that word to describe this, gluttony and the abuse of food, and how a lot of times I think athletes will struggle with this. And I've heard him talk about this as well, because he's kind of in a similar boat to you. I mean, Ethan's a big dude. He was a big guy just genetically, but like while he had the weight, and now that he's lost,
still huge. Yeah.
Still huge.
In a great way. Yeah.
In a great way.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of times athletes really struggle with that transition when they go from sports where they have 2 to 3 hours a day where they're being kind of forced to be active. That is their job. Now they're not.
Yeah.
Now they're in something different. Maybe they've created their own job.
Yeah.
Do you think some of that happened to you? I mean, during that time period, that definitely impacted you?
Yeah, like athletes are performance based their whole lives. Like from the time when you're a little kid, you get pat on the back every time you perform in sports, you know, whether that's parents or whether that's, you know, the people that are watching you play sports. So you kind of develop this performance complex. You're always wanting to perform. You're always wanting to, your value comes in how much you perform. And and for me, that was sports. Then that was work. Then that was, I'm the man of the house and I'm, you know, providing for my family and, you know, and everything was just like, I will be that guy, right? I will perform and all the value comes from performing. Right. But then you realize that, like you work out 2-3 hours a day, you sports 2-3 hours a day, like, and you don't focus on anything else. And we know that food is, you know, 70, 80, 90% of fitness, of nutrition, of all that stuff. But we focus like 3% on here and all of it on the performance, all of it on the skills, all of it. And people are like, how do you get 500 pounds? I was like, I was literally working out, like, other than when I tore my knee, but I'm like 400 pounds. I'm still in the gym 3 hours a day, blowing up, eating terrible food, right? I'm never going to outburn the amount of calories I was eating in a day. Where now I've, in the last couple months, taken an approach like less is a little bit more. Like if I work out, because I'm like professional athletes are working out 4 days a week, 5 days a week. And what am I doing working out 2 a day, 7 days a week, 35 days, no days off for? Like what? They're obviously they're professional athletes. They know a little bit more than I do. Right. So definitely, yeah, like that catches up to you. If you focus everything on the performance, everything on the strength training, all that stuff, which is the easy part in my opinion. For me, it's much easier to just go in the gym. It's much easier, you know, it's easier for me to, like I ran a marathon I saw that a couple months ago.
Congrats.
Like I find a marathon easier than eating like
that is crazy.
eating great for a month. Like I legitimately, I'll spend hours like, you know, and the marathon was tough. I was like close to jumping in the ambulance. But
dude, that's amazing.
Yeah, that's me. Like at the end, like they're like, do you want the ambulance? And I'm like, I was pretty close. Like I was seeing stars and stuff. It was really hot. But like, I would rather do that than eat healthy for 2 months.
Isn't that funny how people are different?
Yeah.
Because people are wired different. There's a lot of people would not say that. There's a lot of people that are like, yeah, I don't really, you know, food doesn't really bug me. It's like that, like me. Like I would think that would be significantly harder than eating it. To me, food, I'm like, I know exactly what it is I need to eat. I don't ever deviate from it. And I literally, I'm a psychopath when it comes to my food.
That's good. I'd much rather be that way.
I can eat the exact same 3 meals all year round and I don't care. If occasionally it deviates, great, but if it doesn't, great too. It doesn't bother me. But I know that I'm wired different. There's a lot of people that are in your boat where it's like, I mean, I know she's going to hate this, but my mother, she's like this. She has she has a thing with food where she tells me, she's honest, she's open about it. Like food is my thing. Like I have an issue not eating food. Do you understand? I'm like, no, I don't understand. I don't get that. What do you mean? And yet it's there. And that is the reality for a lot of people. It's a lot harder to learn to adjust what it is you're intaking versus going to the gym.
Yeah. And I think most people are probably the opposite of you. Most people probably struggle with food to some degree.
Probably. Right? Yeah, like, I think so.
Like my doctor told me, is like, oh, do you think, like I'm like 430 pounds and I'm like at a doctor getting blood work for the first time. And my doctor's like, do you think you struggle with weight? I'm like,
bro.
And my doctor's like this really skinny Asian dude. Like, and I'm like, I don't know. What do you think? He's like, oh, like, do you think? He's like, I'm like, yeah, of course. Oh, do you want to talk to our nutritionist? Yeah, sure, no problem. Do you think you have an eating problem? I said, yes, I do. No. Like, you think you have an eating problem? I'm like, yeah. Do you think you like eat a whole pizza in a sitting? I'm like, yes. Do you ever like eat dessert when you've already eaten food and you're full? I'm like, I think you're the weird one thinking that's weird. Like, I think most people are like me. Like, I stop eating when I hate myself. I don't stop eating when I'm full. Like, that's that's what it is, right? So, but
that kind of behavior has become so much more prevalent as time has gone on. Yeah. I think especially and I know you're from Canada, but I think just in the West in general, but in America, it's become more normal to be in that boat
for sure than
it is to be in anybody else's boat. Like people don't know how to regulate the portions of what they're eating, and they don't know how to choose what food is good and bad.
Yeah.
Or they do and they choose not to.
Yeah. And we're kind of, our culture's kind of designed that way. We're not on food. Like talking about, if you're an alcoholic, you can, if you cut out alcohol, you're not going to cut out food. So you have to now somehow develop a relationship with food because you can't cut it out fully for the rest of your life.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, it's an addiction that you're like, it's like telling an alcoholic, okay, you can drink, but you need to drink 1 or 2 days or 1 or 2 times a day to survive. And then try not to drink any more than that. Like that's a really tough thing mentally. And our whole culture is around that. People always go like, the conspiracy theorists that like, they're putting chemicals on our food to be like, yeah, we already know that.
Right.
Like that's what I've learned. Like I always knew that, but that's what I've developed over the last year. I'm like, yeah, I know that. That's like me stepping into a boxing ring and going like, that guy's going to try to punch me. Yeah, I know that. Punches are coming. Like, why am I surprised when food is crazy addictive and, there's not many nutrients really available in the food that we eat and it's all garbage? Like, I know that. And if I know that, then it's my responsibility to figure that out. Like, I sat in the doctor's office with my wife like a couple years ago, and the doctor, like 145-pound lady, is saying like, oh yeah, she goes off on a tangent. She's like, obese people, she wasn't even talking about me, but obese people, it's not their fault that they're obese. Like, they can't help it. It's a mental health problem. And I'm like, first of all, you're 145 pounds and I'm a monster, right? And I'm like, you just took all responsibility off of me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't really care how you got that way. Like, I got the 500 pounds. It doesn't even really matter how I got there. What matters is my responsibility to get to figure it out and fix it. But like the second we start having doctors and medical professionals telling us that it's not our fault, meaning it's not your responsibility, meaning, you don't have to fix it, we're taking all the ownership and nobody's going to change.
It alleviates all responsibility from the part of from the addict.
Yeah.
It's the exact same thing as telling an alcoholic, you're not like this because it's your fault.
Yeah.
You're this way because society made you this way.
Yeah.
You're this way because it's available everywhere and you have a mental disorder.
Yeah.
And that's not your fault. That sucks because it is, to a degree, it is, whether or not it's your fault you got there, it is your responsibility to get out. Yeah. You drank your way in, you got to stop drinking and get your way out. Same thing with food.
Yeah. And some people,
speaking to drinking, like when you're talking about alcohol consumption, what about like soda and stuff like that? When you were at your heaviest, how have your habits changed since you were at your heaviest to now with like soda, alcohol, those type of things?
So what I've changed I've completely changed the way that I do it, because everybody who wants to lose weight, they're like, okay, starting Monday, I'm going to have the best diet, the best workout plan, the best sleep, the best everything. I'm like, and I'm a trades guy, and I'm an illustration guy. Like, I love to use analogies, right? So I'm like, you wouldn't expect an electrician apprentice on day one to go wire out 10,000 volts. They're going to kill themselves. So like, I call it apprenticing my own body. Like, I'm not going to be perfect day one. What I do is first I started walking a little bit. I changed the pop to diet pop, right? So it's less calories. Then maybe I swapped out the fries and added a burger. That's all I focused on. Did that, got pretty good at that, and then just started making choices till eventually that became the new standard. Then I could add in the workout programs. Then I can add in some better sleep. Then I can add in all that stuff. But perfection is the enemy of progress. Like, we try to do way too much, way too early, because everyone wants to drop. People go, oh, I only dropped 25 pounds in the last 3 months. I'm like, it's technically considered dangerous to drop more than 2 pounds a week. Like, nobody wants to be fit for life or for a short amount of time. You want to be fit for life. Mm-hmm. So this time I'm like, I need to slow down the weight loss process. I need to just make sustainable life choices. I'm not making a weight goal. I'm not doing any of that stuff. I'm just going, I'm going to stack and make the process really, really, really good. And then 3, 4, 5 years, everything will be totally different. Mm-hmm. And that's what I've started, like, just being obsessed with the process of what I'm doing.
Yeah, the best meal program is the one that you're going to follow.
Right.
That's the answer I give when I get asked that. Because nutrition is probably one of the most controversial subjects within the realm of health and fitness. Everybody's gone in every different direction and people love to fight, and it's mayhem in nutrition. But most of the time, nobody really should care about any of that. All the minutiae about like the way you should do it. Whatever the best program is for you, it's the one you're actually going to follow. If I can give you the best macro count meal plan with exact dietary restrictions right down to the calorie, but you take it and you toss it and you come back 30 days later and I'm like, how'd it go? Oh, how'd what go? Oh, well, shit, that sucks, because what was the point of all that? That didn't matter at all. But if I can tell you, like, all right, hey, listen, you eat these things, stop eating these first 5.
Yeah. And
stop eating those first 5. They're the worst. I can look at them and say they're the worst.
Yeah. And to answer your question, like I eat pretty much the same as I did when I ate Taco Bell every day. It's just a different version of it. Like I eat burrito bowls every day. Still eat cheesecake every day, but it's like Greek yogurt with Jello, cheesecake flavoring. It's like 350 calories and 40 grams of protein. I eat the same stuff I really like. I can eat the Taco Bell order I had is the same for like 3 years with just something added on every 3-4 months. As I got worse. But it's just like I got no problem. I eat the same burrito bowl almost every single night. Eat the same dessert. I drink the same. I drink 1 or 2 0-calorie sodas every single day. Eventually, I'll be this like perfect, awesome shama who can like. Say no to every single type of
like this guy.
Eventually,
super rigid diet.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But for now, I just make substitutions because even I got a nutritionist last month when I was training for my first half marathon last year, and I learned a lot. Like every fat guy knows a lot about nutrition. It's not because we're stupid. Like it's not like we don't know donuts are terrible for us. We just can't lack this self control, right? So I just told the nutritionist. You plan the meals. Tell me exactly what to eat. Tell me, but she's like, okay, but I want Chick-fil-A options. I want Taco Bell options. All this stuff, and all I got to do is just walk up and order exactly what you tell me to order. And I was very surprised because she upped my calorie count to like 4,000. I'm like, you're telling a guy to eat 4,000 calories when I'm trying to lose weight? Like that makes no sense. But it was the best thing that happened for me, right? And I'm like, everyone tries to fit into somebody else's macros, somebody else's diet plan. Like for me, I love to eat before I go to bed. Love it. She's like, why don't you just do it? Why don't we eat this many calories at breakfast, this many at lunch, this snack, so that at nighttime, because I'm a, like every single one of my meals is like after 9 o'clock. That's when I would binge when I was really, really heavy.
Oh, okay.
So I'm like, I don't want to go to bed. Like if I wake up if I'm 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock at night and I'm in bed and hungry, I'm going to the fridge to get something. Yeah. So why don't I just play into that? Like I'll just eat 1,200, 1,300 calories, a big meal at nighttime to where I'm full of good nutrient-dense burrito bowl, a better version of the Taco Bell, which was 3,500 calories. This is 1,200 calories, a lot of food. My cheesecake for dessert, 1,300 calories, and it just works. Like that works for me. Instead of going, well, I got to fit into the, eating four or 5 times a day every 3 hours. There's nuts for this meal. There's this for this. Like I'm not going to sustain that.
This episode of the podcast is brought to you by AESOP, the Arizona Education and Scholarship Opportunities Program. AESOP is a federal nonprofit and Arizona school tuition organization. Contributions to them turn into a dollar-for-dollar 100% matching Arizona income tax credit. Corporations can contribute up to their entire income tax burden. Yes, even if it's millions of dollars, you can still claim that. AESOP turns those dollars into scholarships for underprivileged children in low-income households to attend private schools in Arizona. Furthermore, individuals can contribute as well. For individuals, the cap is roughly $1,000 per person or $2,000 for those married filing jointly. For more information, visit www.aesopkids.org to learn more today. And now, back to the episode.
Yeah. No, I hear where you're at, and I like that you found a way to make it work with your lifestyle, because like I said, if you're not going to do it, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
Ultimately, where would you say then is because you've lost 150 pounds since you were at your heaviest?
Like 145 currently. Yeah.
That's okay. And how long has that been? Like, what's the window of time?
It's been about just over 2.5, like 2 years, 3 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. And where would you like to be?
I'll probably end up around like 260.
Okay. And you're currently, my math
I'm currently
sucks.
at 355.
So you want to lose another 120?
Yeah.
Something like that?
Yeah. And
gotcha.
this is the first time that I've actually focused on actual weight loss. Like it sounds funny that I've lost 145 pounds and I haven't focused on weight loss.
I just happened.
Well, because even when I was training, like my big thing last January was at 400 pounds. I'm like, what is the craziest thing that because I'm like, I needed a mental win. I'm like, I need some sort of, goal for myself that, a 400-pound guy, what's the craziest thing that I would never believe that I could do? I'm going to run a marathon in 1 year. And that was last January I said that. And
you got a lot of guys making that decision. You got Bert Kreischer, you got Jelly Roll, like a lot of big dudes are getting out and doing. Hell yeah, dude, pull that up. Where he just did one. Jelly Roll does one with Tom Segura and Bert Kreischer. I think. Do you know how often they do that?
Well, they did it first one last year. It's a 5K. They're doing another one on the 24th of May. So I'm like, I told my wife, I'm like, you can't. We have a baby coming May 1st.
Oh,
like,
congrats!
Get that baby out a little earlier so I can go to Tampa and join the 5K over there.
That's him, dude. This is him on Camelback. He's on Camelback.
Oh, wow.
Dude,
He's dropped like 150 pounds.
I know he has. I
Yeah.
know he has. And he's talked
here we go.
he has talked about a lot of the same stuff that you've talked about here. Jelly Roll has talked about the fact that he's a disciplined person. He's like, man, I go on tour. I do every single state. I'm a worker. I work 25, I just work all the time. I work 25/7.
Yeah.
I don't have that as my problem, and yet I am obese.
Yeah.
I am a glut. I have a discipline issue with this area.
Yeah.
And he attributes a lot of it to, his trauma coping and some of the stuff that he's had to deal with over his life, and how this was always the thing that was always there for him. No matter what was falling apart, he could always find food.
Oh, yeah.
And that habit had to be rewired here.
Yeah.
How he had to make that change here before all of that would show on the rest of his body.
Exactly.
And that is unique to food.
Yeah.
That's very unique to food. I mean, we all probably know a functioning alcoholic that you would not know is an alcoholic. Find somebody who works in construction.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
those guys can
It's
go.
the bricklayers in our. We always joke about the bricklayers. We show up and they're already two cases deep by 7:30 in the morning.
and they'll work a 14-hour day.
100%.
No problem.
Yeah, no
Job
problem.
gets done,
Yep.
like in record-breaking time.
Yeah.
You're like, I can't believe you did that. You're like, yeah, I've drank a fifth of vodka, twice today. And that's unreal. But when it comes to this issue, it is unique for several reasons. The first being that it shows on your body.
Yeah.
And this is one area where I think the conversation from a societal standpoint has gone in a few directions I don't like. I don't like people being ostracized for this, but I also don't like the acceptance of it.
Yeah.
We seem to have found ourselves in a situation where nobody can find the happy medium between those two. It's either somebody ostracizes somebody, or hey, we just need to accept them for how they are.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Because they shouldn't accept them for how they are. They need to know that they need to change. Somebody, you mentioned how your physicians would go about it. Like, do you think maybe possibly you could have an eating issue? Maybe. Do you think? Like,
Just say it.
say it.
I'm here for
the
you to
physician
tell me
would be
what
like,
to do. Yeah.
dude, you need to stop eating. You need to fast for 30 days.
Yeah.
You need to stop looking at this. Like, they need to have a frank conversation. And that, what you said, the way he approached it is the way it seems like everybody in society is approaching it, or a large, vast majority are. And it's also a new problem. That's the other thing about it that I find so interesting, is that we, as I'll just say American society, we find ourselves in a weird place where we have too much excess.
Yeah.
We have too much.
Oh, yeah.
If you think about, how human beings existed all the way back to our hunter-gatherer ancestors, this was not an issue.
You couldn't overeat because then you wouldn't have food next week.
Right.
Like it was always scarcity there.
You had to go and you had to literally sprint down, like forget run a marathon. You had to run a marathon every day to go catch your food.
Yeah.
And maybe not even then.
Yeah.
It was just and I think that our mindset needs to start realizing and recognizing that this is a new problem. This is something that we're seeing is rising. And I do think we're taking a step in the right direction. What do you think about all the kind of the direction from, RFK Jr. and he's talking about, going at the food industries and trying to attack obesity? Like, how do you think that should be handled?
I think from a political standpoint, fantastic. But it also has to start with the individual. Like, we live in a society where every relationship is fragile. Like, every friend group doesn't want to say anything to one friend when they know they're struggling because that friend's going to be mad at them. And, like, I made a decision like a couple years. Like, when I was 500 pounds, not one person in my life said anything about it. And I don't blame them for it. They probably had no idea where to start. But you can clearly see someone getting to the point of 500 pounds. And that was just like an outward thing. I know so many people who, like, everybody knows somebody struggle, but everyone thinks they're going to offend that person. Where I'm like, now I'm a guy who I chase conflict. I want, like, when me and my wife, we don't sit, there's nothing off topic. There's nothing that we can't talk about because we're going to argue, all this stuff. Like, we purposely, like, conflict, like, to get in shape, it's just conflict between your body and your mind. I go in the gym, it's conflicting to your muscles to want to put them through a stress, to make them tear muscle fibers, to grow bigger. Everything that develops in life is because of conflict. But that word has a very negative connotation to it, right? Where, like, now I wish somebody would have said, hey, listen, like, you're 500 pounds. Like, I will come over and I will walk with you and I will start working out with you, right? But everyone's like, oh, he's going to get offended. And maybe I would have, maybe I wouldn't have. Mm-hmm. But we live in a society where everybody wants to just be a victim. Everyone wants to feel, everyone wants to, when somebody comes up to ask me if I want a seatbelt extender on an airplane, like, people go like, I get offended by that. I'm like, no, like I look like I need a seatbelt extender. Now I'm like, don't you come near with that thing. I don't need that anymore. I don't need. I had a video where like a tray table came down for the first. I sat on that plane 2 years ago going to Hawaii.
Yeah.
And a tray table wouldn't come down. And then I posted a video when I went to Hawaii a couple months ago to run my marathon. Tray table came down.
Dude.
Got like 36 million views. So I'm
That's
just like,
so cool.
A tray table comes down. I was like all stoked about it.
That's awesome.
That is so great.
But yeah, like because we live in a political level is great. And it's great, but it can't only be on the responsibility of our leaders to fix what's inside of our homes.
So true.
It's a great place to start, and it's needed, and it'll help a lot of people. But at the end of the day, if we need to make those changes, and that's why when I picked the marathon, I picked it for the only reason I picked it was I'm like, marathon is not the goal. The goal in my mind is to completely change the way that my brain works. Yeah, that's
That's
video
so
right
cool.
People are
dude.
like, that's the smallest tray table in the world. I'm like, yeah, it is. It is.
It's the tiniest.
It is the smallest tray table, but that tray table wouldn't come down 2 years ago.
Whoa, that is hysterical.
Like I put my belt, like I don't think it's on there right now, but I had my belt, like I used to have to just pretend that my belt was,
There you go.
because I never asked for the seatbelt extender and I wouldn't ever take one.
Oh, I
So I
wouldn't.
just like
Dude,
went
I'd be
and sat
mortified.
down and like put it underneath my belly and like they're like when they come through, I'm like I'm pretending it's locked in the whole time. Like if we get into an accident, I'm flying across the whole thing, right? Like, but I'm just pretending it's on, and I'm hoping that they don't have the balls to ask me if I have my seatbelt plugged in, done up.
And I don't know that I would. If
No.
I was the flight attendant, I don't think I'd
No.
have the balls. I would.
No.
I'd be like, you know what? No, I
worth
can't.
it.
I
That's
can't
like,
do it.
It's like asking a woman if she's pregnant.
Yeah, you don't do
Really
that.
though, you can't
Yeah.
do that. And I understand why. I mean,
Yeah.
it is. I mean, you're a very, very level-headed dude who has a
Yeah.
really good take
Yeah.
on all this. A lot of people do not.
Yeah.
A lot of people, especially who have reached the excess of 400 or 500 pounds, they're super self-conscious about it,
Yeah.
and they're angry because a lot of times, you know, they haven't had that hack that you got to where you're like, all right, I got to make a change. You know what? I'm going to change what's in here. I've got this past
Yeah.
of activity level. I know I can get to this point. I'll run a marathon. I'll do whatever I got to do. Fast 30 days. I'll make this
Yeah,
happen.
because if I make that claim, then I have to be that person.
Exactly.
Because for me, I'm like, even though when I'm a bigger guy, like I'm still going to the gym, I'm still trying to lift the most amount of weights. I got every dude. I'm trying to be an alpha dude with a pride issue. So I'm like, I'll use my own pride against me. If I tell people I'm running a marathon, I won't not do my runs because everyone else will think that I'm a loser if I don't do what I say I'm going to do.
He quit.
So I use that against myself, and I'm like, I can't run a marathon. I'm right.
Yeah.
But in a year from now, the person that I will become can run a marathon, and I use the marathon as a vehicle to become this person. And I tell people like, I was the most self-conscious human being of all time. Like I'm the guy with the shirt on. First of all, like, did I think people were didn't know I wasn't fat under there? Like when you go swimming with a shirt on, it sticks to you. You look fatter. I'm like, oh, I'm protecting myself, or I'm doing it for skin problems, whatever. But I'm just like, one day at 500 pounds, I took my shirt off when I was at the beach, and nobody said anything.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, there's a little win. And then the next time I did it again. And when I went running as a 400-pound guy who couldn't run more than a minute, I went running and nobody said anything negative to me. In fact, everybody was awesome. So I'm like,
Dude,
it's just building.
yeah.
Like confidence or faith is not found. It's built with just brick by brick, little by. So people go like, oh, how do you have the confidence to take your shirt off? I'm like, I take my shirt off and then realize nothing happened. Right. And all this anxiety is just,
It's in your head.
it's not reality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And if we know it's not reality, like it's tough. It's the hardest thing in the world to do. But now I'll take my shirt off and go run around like crazy, and I don't care. But it's something that I've built. It's not just because like it's funny because at 500 pounds at my worst is when I took my shirt off. But when I was growing up, I'm like 185 pounds, a little bit chubby. When you look back at pictures, I'm like I played sports. I look like I need to lose 20 pounds, and I'm like wearing a t-shirt in the pool. So like at 500 pounds, I took it off. It is just a skill you got to build.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
And most people who are in need of a seatbelt extender, they haven't built that up yet.
It's
They
tough.
have-
Yeah.
And that's tough. I empathize. I did. My
Yeah.
favorite thing, though, I'll tell you what, man. My favorite thing is to see a big person exercising.
Oh, yeah.
That is my favorite
Yeah.
thing. Anytime I see somebody on Camelback Mountain who's big.
Yeah.
And I mean, there was one dude that was as big as you.
Yeah.
And he was going up. He had the poles and everything. And he was
Yeah.
kicking his
Yeah.
ass.
Yeah.
I stopped. I took my headphones off. I was like, dude.
Yeah.
Can I follow you on Instagram? I love what you're doing. This
Yeah.
is so freaking
Yeah.
cool. I never see anybody up here. And everybody around was like, most people weren't saying shit.
Yeah.
But I stopped. I'm like, I got to talk to this guy. This is outstanding.
And that probably meant the world to him. It probably did. Especially coming from a guy like you, fit, whatever. It probably meant the world to him.
And I think there's a misunderstanding a lot of times with bigger people that the fit guy is going to like be offended by the fact that you're actually almost always. I found that the coaches, the trainers, the really ultra fit people are so impressed with the big people that are trying to lose weight because it means so much to you because you know what it takes. And if you see somebody who's out there doing exactly the same activity you are, 500 pounds heavier than you are, it's impressive. It's more impressive when he hikes Camelback than me. Way more.
I have. I've experienced that so much over the last year. And like it's always the trolls are always the people who don't do anything.
Exactly.
But it's like the elite level athletes are the most like I'm a big guy in the running space now. Like my name is Johnny Goes Running, right? Like
it
and
is.
I got guys who are running like there's one of my buddies, Corey, from our city. It's like the beer mile world record holder. You basically chug a beer in between each lap. It's crazy fast.
I've seen that.
He does it in like 4 minutes and 25 seconds or something. I run a mile. Like my fastest mile is like 12. 11 if I'm pushing. And this guy's
good, though.
slamming,
That's pretty
this guy's
good, man.
slamming beers and doing that, and that's inspiring. I'm like, how? It's always the elite level athletes are like, I'm so inspired by what you do. I'm like, I couldn't run a kilometer in the fact how long it takes you to run 7, but it's always the people who aren't doing anything. Those are the ones.
It's got nothing to do with how fast you're doing it. It's the fact that you're doing it. And when you're somebody who lives in the fitness space, which now you do, you know and appreciate how difficult that activity is for anybody. And I, being a professional, I know how much harder it is for somebody who's lagging 350 pounds on their back as opposed to me. And so it's more impressive. That is so much more impressive to me than like watching Usain Bolt set the world record or something. I mean, that's impressive. That's impressive, obviously. But it's more impressive to me to see a 600-pound guy run a marathon. To watch Jelly Roll get to the top of Camelback. What the F? I saw that video. I was like, are you serious? And this is the other thing. I think people have this, they're like, he's going to die. Like, no, he's not. No, he's not. It may take him 2.5 hours to get up there.
In the summer, maybe.
Maybe. I suppose they should cover the disclaimer.
Fit people die in the summer on
The
Camelback.
guy to talk to about people dying.
Oh
on
my
Camelback.
gosh, bro! I got some stories. Have you ever like researched Camelback Mountain or any of the stories?
I'm that's my plan to do tomorrow.
Dude,
Oh,
let's
do
go.
it.
Let's go do it. I'm like, let's do it.
I saw you
Jim.
posted it. I'm like, looked and the second you're like, oh, I watched a clip and you're like, oh, well, there's this girl. She was walking in and I'm like, now I have to do it. I have to do it. If
Yes.
other way people shouldn't do it.
Dude, let's do it.
Yeah.
I'll go with you.
Sweet.
It is, it is a mountain that actually claims more lives than Everest.
Yeah.
It is
That's
insane.
crazy.
And now the traffic on that mountain is significantly higher than Everest
Sure.
and just about any other mountain in the
Right.
entire valley. It's basically a treadmill.
Right.
But the heat in the summertime from the sun and from the rocks, it's this clash of, because we'll get 115, 120, days here in July and August.
Yeah.
Well, the radiating heat coming off of those stones is 100 degrees hotter than that.
That's
250,
crazy.
200. And people get stuck in that furnace and they get halfway up and they've never done it before.
Yeah.
And for some reason, the ranger let them through.
They have this amount of water on
And they
them.
have that amount of water on them. I have actually, and I'm not going to exaggerate this or make it seem cool. I have carried 3 unconscious people down.
Wow.
I have seen 3 people die for various different reasons. And now I've hiked it my whole life, but I've seen that happen on that mountain.
Yeah.
So it is dangerous to be doing this in the extreme heat. But other than that, if you get out there in the morning, it is, your body is capable of so much more than you know going into it.
And like you said, like Jelly Roll's not doing that on day one. Like, right? Like, it's when people ask me all the time, like, how you're running, like, running's terrible for your knees. You shouldn't do that. You shouldn't do, like, I got videos doing burpees and all that stuff. Like, you shouldn't do that. That's going to hurt you. I'm like, yeah, but you see one clip. You don't understand the context of what goes on beside it. Running is typically like, it's a dose. When people get hurt or hurt their knees, it's usually like a dosing issue. You just, like, you go too much too fast. I spent an entire year, and for the first 10 months, I got to my half marathon in 10 months. It wasn't like I went out there and I was trying to, like, my muscles and my endurance probably could have done it at month 4, month 5. But the tendons and ligaments and the bone and the joints couldn't just develop that ability to withstand that impact if I was doing too much too fast.
Do you couple it with strength training for your knees,
Yeah.
for your leg? You do.
I'm like, especially a guy who had a knee injury, like I'm a backwards walker, sled pushes. I'm a barefoot guy. Like,
Let's go.
Like I attributed my knee to like fasting, and then I sled pulled and pushed every single day. So every time I hit a weight loss milestone, I'll put that same weight on and do like a 5K with that same, like on a sled and pull it. So the last time I was like 130, 130-pound loss. I put it on the sled, walked 5K just to see what it was like.
Dude, the sled is, we were just talking about this the other night. The sled is one of the most incredible pieces of equipment known to man. I don't care what your goal is.
Also
Seriously.
one of the most hated.
Oh, hated?
Yeah.
Is it really?
Hated?
No,
it has to be.
Why do people hate the sled?
Pushes, you're like,
Well, among clients. I mean, I can speak as a coach. When it comes to like exercise, like,
I
hey, we're going to end with the sled.
No. Like every
just
time I
humbling.
do the sled, I'm like, oh no, we gotta do the sled.
yeah.
It's just like one of those things you're like,
It's just
man.
daunting. It's hard. It's hard every single time. Which one? Do you ever use the torque sled? The torque tank?
The one with the wheels and you have to adjust it?
Yeah.
No, I've never used that. I've only used ones that where you like load weight on, forward, backward, stuff like that. That's probably crazy.
This one is especially crazy because it's got a variable frequency adjuster to it, meaning you can't quit. So on a sled, a normal sled, like something from Elite FTS where you stack weight, whatever that weight is, that's where it weighs. And if you stop, well, it stops. That's the end of it. The torque tank answers the amount of force put into it.
Yeah.
So you as the participant, if you push with, say, 120 pounds of pressure, it'll answer back with 120 pounds. If you start to fatigue and you drop down to 60, it'll slow down and it'll get easier. So you can't stop.
Oh, geez.
So my clients are like, what is it? I'm like, you're not going to be able to stop. You just keep going. But that piece of equipment is truly amazing for just functionality, the strength of your legs. Like you said, you can walk backwards. You can hit your knees, your quads. You can do, I'll tell you one you should do if you haven't already with a sled. You do a 2-leg, almost like a jump. So you grab the sled and you do 2 feet at a time where you jump and land and jump and land.
Okay.
Instead of like walking individually, jump 2 feet at a time.
Okay.
Almost like a burpee going forward with the sled.
Yep.
That's the hardest sled variation that no one's talking about, or I haven't really seen too many people doing. I think it was maybe Matt Winning I saw doing it. You ever seen that?
Are you pushing or are you pulling?
You push it.
Okay.
I haven't even filmed this.
On the jump, you're pushing?
On the jump. You jump
or are you
and
jumping
push.
and then pushing?
No, you jump and push.
So your hands are attached.
So your hands are locked.
Okay.
And you're jumping off 2 feet,
I gotta
pushing the
see.
sled forward. I haven't, it's not even on his page.
It's
no.
not on Wenning's?
No,
Matt
it's
Wenning's?
nowhere.
Oh,
I'll
okay.
have to film something on it. But that's a
Pulling
good,
with the backward walk, like walking backwards and pulling for the rope is really.
That's great.
Really
also
good, too.
using a rope.
Yeah.
You do like poles,
Yep.
like
Yep.
pull the sled.
Tons, yeah. Yep.
You really and truly, if you were designing, and I know you said you're designing a home gym, which is just awesome.
Yeah.
A sled may be the very first thing you get.
Yeah.
It's one of them.
Yeah.
This episode of the podcast is brought to you by the Superhero Training app. Whether you're in the gym, at home, in the pool, or on the road, you'll find training programs built by elite coaches specifically for you. Every subscriber is automatically entered to win thousands of dollars in equipment giveaways each month and to participate in our group fitness challenges, where you can win custom hand-painted 3D printed superheroes. All of this for less than 33 cents a day. So don't wait, follow the link in this episode description below and start your fitness journey with us. And now, back to the episode.
Yeah, because I have like, so what we did was like, I had a shop that I literally got just to put on my equipment. I bought all this equipment, put it in there, and then I realized it was like a $3,000 a month home gym. And I'm like, I can't justify a $3,000 because I'm paying my shop for my business, and all of my business stuff has gone out of here, and I'm just using it as like this fun workout.
Oh,
thing.
I get it.
So I'm like, I gotta get rid of this. So then I went to an actual normal, like, well, it's not a normal gym. It's like a hybrid gym slash, aka not CrossFit.
And all the equipment, what, you just put it in your garage, or you sold it, or what'd you do?
It's just still sitting in storage because I'm like, eventually I got my garage. Eventually I'll build out something really cool.
Dude, hit me up when you do that because
there.
I'll help you build it out.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, it's such a good investment. I know we talked on this before the actual podcast began, but a home gym is the greatest collection of toys you can ever have.
Yeah.
I don't care what it is. I've never been proposed anything where I think it's like a better hobby to have.
Yeah.
If you design your garage and you've got a wife that's cool and will let you do a gym.
Yeah, yeah. And even if you have kids, like I got kids, like what's the best thing for me to do for them? Like we decide, like I'm like, piano stuff's all cool, but what do I care? I want my kids to be 80 years old and function. Like I want them to not deal with obesity. I want them to be able to move. And if they're around exercise all the time, right? That's why the home gym has to come back. Even if I'm going to the gym a few days a week too. But the home gym's got to come back because they just need to be immersed in it and live in that.
And this was my experience as a kid, and I cannot say this enough to, but really both of you guys, because anybody who's a father, this is important. Your kid, my first exposure to this was always watching my dad work out. That's the thing. Where's dad? Oh, he's in the gym. Oh, okay, cool. When that becomes a everyday occurrence, it's not even like he's forcing me to do it. He was just doing it. Where's daddy? Oh, he's in the garage. He's working out. Cool. I'm gonna go to. That's a normalcy. It becomes normalized to you. It's like, what is he doing? Okay, well, okay, he's in the gym. Yeah. That's a normal part of his life. I should probably expect that to be a normal part of mine.
Yeah.
Whereas if it's, like, oh, I have to go to the gym. All right, bye. I got to get, you know what I mean? Like, that makes it, oh, he hates going. Well, I'm 11. I probably will hate it one day too.
Yeah.
Why would I go?
Yeah.
That's a totally different experience, and that's a totally different relationship and standard that you're setting for your kids.
Yeah. Another good thing to do is to train them to read food labels. Like train your kids to read food labels, what to look for when they're eating food and where they're buying food. Because, you know, there's all types of stuff, as we know, that's in food, and they can figure out, hey, here's the sugar content, sodium, etc.
And what they use that food for.
Yeah.
Like that's the biggest struggle when you're trying to raise kids. Like, you don't want kids to develop these, you know, insecurities because you tell them they can't, you know, can't have dessert unless they do the exercise, and there's, you know, social media who tells you can't do that. Like, my daughter knows she's got 2 hours of gymnastics every Tuesday. She's very active, but she goes, okay, mom and dad, we got to have pasta before we go to gymnastics because I need the carbs, which give me good energy. And then after, I usually have something like a cheeseburger or something with meat in it because it helps repair my muscles. Like, she doesn't, you know, I'm not sitting there counting calories for my kid because that gets crazy and that develops. But she just knows what food does, when to eat it. And I don't find a problem with telling kids, oh, you use this. This gives you energy. You know, they always know. My kids started running with me, so they're like, there's a video, like, that's our second run. First run, that she's 3, she's so she's 3, she's 6. My 3-year-old did a kilometer. Like, very first run, did a full kilometer.
Wow.
Which is like 0.6 of them. I forgot I'm in America.
In America.
Which is foreign to you guys. You guys are like, what's a kilometer?
I'm getting pretty brushed up on the metric system with those new plates, though. Everything, everything is
Jake
like
just told me that.
Get out of the American standard.
It's all kg.
Yeah, it's all kg in that gym now.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
That's awesome.
That is so.
That's really cool.
That's so cool.
Again, I cannot even, dude. My dad had me on his back hiking Camelback when I couldn't walk. My dad took me running. I saw my dad in the gym. I learned everything that I now do as my life from my dad's activity level. And he didn't force me to do it ever.
Yeah.
He just did it.
Yeah.
And all my siblings, we all watched him. We're like, this is awesome. This is cool. And he obviously encouraged us to get into sports and whatnot. And that was sort of just what we did. But the expectation was never pressed on us from above. It was just, this is what he's doing. Dad's doing this. You should probably go do that.
And it changed probably the whole trajectory. Like, if you scroll down a little bit, you'll see a picture before. You keep going a little more. Keep going a little bit more. You'll see a picture of what we looked like in Hawaii a couple years ago as a family. Keep going. Keep going.
Yeah, I saw that.
So that's us. My wife's pregnant now. But that's us 2 years ago. And then Dad decided to change his life. My wife's pregnant there.
Wow.
But, like, the whole family changes.
The whole family
The whole family. And it's not like I don't sit there and go, like, time to work out, everybody. It's just like, I go there and I lead by the example.
Absolutely.
That's my job. That's my role. And then things just, like, they just eventually develop and become better, you know, at that. Because think about it. If I would have kept going on that route 2-3 years ago, where would my kids be now? What would they have developed into relationships with food? Like, because when your kid is 3, 2, 3, they still think you're a superhero even when you're 500 pounds. Mm-hmm. But when they go 6, 7, they start noticing that you look different, or you function differently, or your body looks different than other people.
Other people's dads and their friends' dads. It's they notice a difference.
Part about being a parent, you're like putting like a mirror in front of yourself, and the older they get, the more they realize they pick up all these things from you, and you're like, wait, I say that, or I do that, and it really makes you introspective. Really cool.
I love that clip of the bike. Yeah. That's so great, dude. No, and it's, you are leading by example.
Yeah.
You are not a taskmaster, you are a leader. You are like, I'm doing all of this, guys. I would love if you would join me. Yeah. But regardless, I'm doing it anyway. I'm doing it for me because I'm gonna you're the head of the household. You set the tone.
And that's why people are always like, oh, you have to do it for yourself. You have to start loving yourself. It's like, I got by myself. I got to 500 pounds. Like, that was me treating me and we live in a culture that's like, oh, you know, self-love. Let me go grab ice cream. Like, love is an action word. Love requires being uncomfortable. Like, to love is not the easy thing. To love is denying the natural, right? If I choose to love my wife every day, sometimes I tell my wife, like, you can tell me you don't like me today, as long as you tell me you still love me. Like, that's fine.
Amen.
But it's like, the best version of love is to have me treat myself with respect.
Yeah.
And that's what real self-love is. And that's what you develop, and that's what you show your kids. But if I'm just sitting there going, you know, what makes me feel comfortable, that's not love.
Amen.
And so I did it for my kids. People are, oh, you got to do it for yourself. I'm like, I did it for my kids. Like I go, if I can love them, I have to love myself so they can see me love them myself. Eventually, I'll have the most healthy, functioning mental health, brain, and I'll do it for myself, and I'll love myself. But for right now, I can borrow their view of me and their view of me being Superman and just become who they think I am. That's the way that I approached it.
This is, and I've had, me personally as a coach, I've had a paradigm shift with my thought process along this subject line, because I was always one of those guys who was like, you can't be training for your wife, you can't be training for your girlfriend, not for your kids. You need to train for you. You've got to love this part of life to improve you first and foremost. Yeah. And I still believe that to a degree, but I have certainly seen that in reality, for most people who, you know, like you said, maybe their default version of loving themselves is to go to Dairy Queen every single day. That's what they view that as. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with adjusting your lifestyle for the people around you because you want to see grandkids one day, because you want your kids to be proud of you. There's nothing wrong with making this kind of a change for your family members.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
And I think it's selfish not to. That's the thing too. And that sucks because people don't want to hear that either. Like your actions are selfish right now. You're not thinking about the fact that, hey, you may not have a fatty liver today, but your kid's 3. Yeah. What is it going to be when they're 13 and you've got 10 more years of this lifestyle? Are you going to have a fatty liver then? Well, I don't know. Well, have you thought about it? Yeah. No, you're being selfish.
Yeah. And that's what racks my brain the last few months. Like, that's what keeps me up at night. I'm like, even work, I've been doing this whole thinking of like how work, because I'm sitting there going, you know, I'm an immigrant kid from immigrant family. I want to be able to provide for my kids. And I'm like, that is, for me, is selfish, because I'm going, I think that my perspective is right. So when my kids are 20 years old, they go, well, I didn't want to go to Michigan. Like, I don't really care. I just would have rather you been around more. And I'm going, I think that my perspective is so correct that they're going to value the same thing that I value. Where I'm like, what am I doing all this for? Maybe my perspective needs to shift, and maybe I need to make an adjustment, because my kids, who knows what's going to happen in 20, 30 years, right? So that's kind of the thing that I've noticed. Like, when I hold on to my perspective, like pride is the enemy of change. When I hold on to my perspective, even at 500 pounds, I thought I was a loser. I thought it was never, but that is the most, like, people think pride is when you think you're really, you know, you're really great. There's like a really silent killer of pride. That's like, my perspective is right. So if I think I'm a loser who can never accomplish anything, if I hold on to that perspective of myself, that is a very prideful statement. Where if my wife thinks I'm great and my kids think I'm great, they might be right? Like, it's like me thinking that, you know, like 1 + 1 is 7 and going like, it is that 100%, right? It's not necessarily true, right? Somebody else might be right. Somebody else might view me as a great person, even if I think I'm an asshole, right? And it's being prideful in holding that perspective, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. And I think also, as, I mean, you're a CEO, you're a business owner.
CEO is a little bit of a loose term. I just install tile and have a couple employees. But.
Yes. Either way,
I like it though. I'm gonna change my Instagram bio to CEO.
As somebody who, you know, saw the value in being the provider, specifically financially, and creating as much opportunity for yourself as you could in that area. I'm sure it was a bit of a transition to recognize, like you're saying, you know, maybe my family would prefer it if we had less income, but a healthier dad. Yeah. Less income, but more time that we were guaranteed with him, because we know he's not going to drop dead of a heart attack. He's more active. Yeah, we have less money, but we can do more things. Yeah. And I think that's hard sometimes for men. And you're right. I think that's a silent trap too. Yeah. I think a lot of times we use our work as sort of a excuse, as sort of a crutch to get away from the things that we know, hey man, there's this imbalance probably right now in my family life. Yeah. And I'm using my work as my excuse to keep that imbalance going.
Yeah. And I was always like, that's why I get 2 hours of sleep, because I'm like, I'll work, but I still got to be a good dad, and I just won't sleep. But then I'm like, we're making more money just to do more things, just to spend more money. And I'm like, ever since I started making less money, I actually have more money than when I made more money. I'm like,
not great.
Yeah, like I'm like, oh, because I'm living for those like vacations and the Hawaii and the vacations every like 6 months, because I'm going like, that's the memories I want for my kids. Kids want quantity. They don't. I'd be a quality. No, they want quantity. They still. I'm sitting there working, you know, every year for 6 years, and my wife's a stay-at-home mom, and I'm working 80 hours a week, and then I come home and my kid's still choosing mom to put them to bed, and I'm like. And that would bug me, like, a lot. And I'm like, but my kids know who's there and I'm there for the hour and I put in quality time and whatever, but they understand who's there every moment of the day. When they have memories, it's like who was around, and that's who they tend to gravitate towards.
Yeah.
And you think this shift has allowed you to be around more?
Yeah, around in terms of quantity, for sure.
Gotcha. So more time rather than to, again, put all of that in perspective, as opposed to we're going to go on a vacation to Hawaii every 6 months and I'm going to be gone pretty much every day between now and then.
Yeah.
Now it's I'm going to be around 4 or 5 days a week.
Yeah.
More time, quantity.
Yeah, now it's around. Now it's we're in the world together. Now we're exercising together. Now it's every single moment that I can steal and bring my kids into my world and then be a part of their world. I do that every time I can. Every time, because I still am away more than I should be. I still work more than I should be. Mm-hmm. That's just kind of how we set it up. We want my wife is a stay-at-home mom, whatever. That's just how we choose to do things. But that's the big thing that I'm working on over the next year is like, how can I just be home more? How can I be bored? Like, kids need boredom. Like, we live in everything's processed. Food's processed. Our sexuality's processed. Entertainment's processed. Everything is processed. Like, I can't even sit through commercials anymore. I know. Like, but back in the day, we used to love commercials. That's what we were going to get for Christmas, right?
Now we're looking on our phones, looking at
Yeah, goodbye.
There's like a 7-minute like song before a TV show, and I'm hitting skip every single time. Sorry, 7 seconds. Even though I'm hitting skip every time, even though it's only 7 seconds. I just can't.
Try going to the bathroom without your phone.
You can't.
Oh,
it's impossible.
You messed up. It's like I could be watching jaguars take down wildebeest, watch crocodiles kill them when they go across the river. Oh, I made a mistake. You ever sit down and go halfway through it and it's not there? Oh, that's a huge mistake.
Yeah. But our kids are like that, and that's what we model for our kids. So I'm trying my best. Our big thing is like I want to be bored. I want my kids to be outside bored, because when we were kids and there wasn't cell phones, like where I was outside until the streetlights came on, and then some. Yeah. Like we didn't like we were so creative, and we didn't have these wild levels of ADHD for every single kid because we're literally processing everything. Your mental health is bad because your entertainment's processed, and your physical health is bad because your food is processed, and you get it exactly when you want it, right? Like it's this wild cycle of eventually. But when you fix one thing, like I'm gonna start running, and you think it's only gonna affect that one little aspect of your life, it starts to break down every little thing under that same lens. Like now that I've changed my mind through running, I'm going like everything else is kind of changing around me just because now I'm breaking down everything.
Yeah. Wow. It's amazing. Yeah. Amazing story, man. It's an amazing transformation you've made, and I want to just keep watching it happen. I know this is you're not even midway through that where I know you want to be. So this is really great. We'll definitely have to have you on again as you keep progressing and keep going. And totally. Man, thanks for coming on.
I'm going to be around the goal is to be around the 300 mark by the time this year is over.
That's sick.
Yeah. So now I'm actually, because I'm in a little bit of an off season, so I'm treating it like a little bit of off season, because when running is not the best form of weight loss. It's really, really hard to lose weight when you're running. I actually gained weight when I ran.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Like from my half to my full. So I'm like taking some time and actually cutting weight and all that stuff. So
yeah,
awesome.
for sure, man.
Having me on.
No, thanks for coming on.
Appreciate it.
So cool.